Good morning. Hi, this is Tracy Payton. I'm going to be covering Tract 2, which is important site setup for your new Signarama website. So this is for all franchisees so that we want to make sure that you know how to come in and set your website up correctly once you receive your URL and password information. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here with today's video. You're going to be receiving an email and it's going to be sending you the URL to the back end of your site. So we call this the management area. And we're going to access this today and do some actual important site setup so that customers can come onto your site and place orders. So up here at the top, you'll be keying in your URL. It will begin with the state-city.store.signarama.com, and at the end of it you're going to put /manage. This will take you to the login screen where you can enter your email address and your password. Once you do that, you're going to arrive at what we call the management home screen. This is the screen where you're going to go through these 5 areas here and set your site up. So the first area, which is General Settings. General Settings pertains to the entire site. So on this screen, you have some access to the site title. So if you want, you can put your site title in here. We also ask that you put a meta description and meta keywords for your site. This will help your search engine optimization. So a meta description is a couple sentences about your site, what you offer, where you're located, and so forth. The meta keywords are keywords separated by commas in which people can search. So you would be looking at such things as indoor signs, outdoor signage, banners, vehicle graphics, and all those can be separated by commas. So in both your meta description as well as your meta keywords, you should always include the state and city of your Signarama store. If you also scroll down on this screen, you'll see an area called Products and Pricing. It will default to show prices on your website. So if for some reason you don't want pricing to show, you can go ahead and uncheck that box here. However, if you want customers to place orders, you do need to include the pricing on your website. So that will be defaulted as checked. You will also be given the ability to change the price margins of the products and categories on your site. This is done from a plus or a minus 20%. So here you can key in plus or minus 20% in addition to the already marked up percentage. So for example, the prices are set to approximately a 40% markup. So if you mark it up an additional 20%, you'll have a 60% markup on all products in all categories on your site. Keep in mind, this changes the markup for everything across the board on your site. You also can adjust lead times here as well. If you make any changes, which I encourage you to enter that meta description and meta keywords, definitely hit Save Changes up at the top. So that we got into General Settings by clicking on this blue link. You can also come up to this General drop-down and click on General Settings. Will take you to the same screen. Once you've gone into this link, we ask that you come into your Contact Details screen. Click on this blue link and edit your information here. So you have your telephone, your fax, your email, and your no reply email. Once you've made your changes and keyed those in, save your changes. The next thing that we want you to do is take a look at this manager's link. So if you click on this blue link, This is where you'll see all the different individuals that have access to your site. So this would be your CSRs as well as yourself. So you'll see those individuals entered. At first, you're only going to have you on this manager area. So if you want to add additional people, you can contact corporate or contact trade only, and we will add those managers in for you, or staff members. Then you have the ability to come in here to this section and determine whether you want them to have access to the management area, which we're in now. If you give them access to the management area, they will have access to change the layout, content, and any e-commerce settings that we put in place. So anything we do here today, that is done within the management area, and if you check that box, that individual has access to that area. The other box that you can check is inquiries. That allows that individual to receive emails every time there's an inquiry on the site. And the same thing goes with orders. If that orders box is checked, they can receive orders, an email that lets them know when an order is placed. So once you've gone ahead and determined what areas you want to give those employees or staff members access to, you can save your changes here. The next area that we definitely need all franchisees to go into to activate their sites is the e-commerce settings. This can be accessed through this link here, or you can come up to the e-commerce tab, and either general settings or payment settings will get you to the same screen. I like to move through this as a checklist, so I'll access the screen by clicking on the blue link. Once I access the e-commerce settings, and if you want customers to be able to upload artwork, you must include this box. So this needs to be checked. And that allows customers to come on to your site and upload artwork. You also have this area called payment settings. If you are taking payment on account or pay on collection, you can check those boxes. However, if you want it to be a fully e-commerce website and you want to take credit card payment, you need to check credit card. And as you can see, some additional fields have been populated. You will be asked to enter your credit card provider. So you'll need to choose between PayPal and Authorize.net. So you will need to go out to PayPal or Authorize.net and get your information from them, and then we'll enter it here on this screen. So if I click on Authorize.net, you have this Authorize.net area where I would enter my login information and my transaction key that I get from Authorize.net. And in order to make that live on your website so that customers can place the orders, you do need to select live on the transaction server as well as the transaction mode. So enter your login, your transaction key, and make sure you check live in these areas. The last thing that you'll want to pay attention to is the transaction method. Before, your websites were set up with the authorization type method. That means that every time a transaction, as far as an order, was placed on the site, you would need to go in and manually release that order for it to be processed. All sites will be defaulted as capture, which means that those orders are captured automatically and automatically processed. So you're not having to go in and do that manual step of releasing. So if you do want to set them back to authorization, you can do that here, but they will be defaulted as captured. So once you've entered your payment settings, your credit card provider, and their information, you definitely want to save your changes. The last thing that you have available to you is Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free service provided by Google that you can sign up for, and they provide reports as to who's visiting your websites, how much time they're spending on the various pages and areas of your websites. So if you'd like to sign up for that and activate your Google Analytics account, you need to click on this link next to Google Analytics. If you'd like to set up an account or get your account information from Google's, you can click on this link up here. So if you click on the Google link, it will take you out to Google where you can register for a Google Analytics account or access your account and get the information. So once you get your Google Analytics account, you'll be given a code, a 10-digit or so code, and you will enter that code in here. And then once you enter that code, you can save changes and it will activate the Google Analytics on the back end of your website. I'm working within someone's actual website, so I don't want to make too many changes, but I want to walk you through the areas that you do need to go into. So once you save those changes, I can come back to the home screen on the management area, and after I've gone into every one of those links, this will show as complete. So you will say done, that you've gone into those areas and you've made your changes. The next thing that you need to do is come over to the e-commerce area. And as you can see from the e-commerce dropdown, you can view all orders that are being placed on your site. So as orders are being made, you can come in, not only will you receive an email if you're checked as the orders, access to all orders, you'll get an email, or you can come into e-commerce and view orders. And this is where you can see the orders that have been placed. And when you go into view, this is where you can export that artwork that was uploaded in the order. So you can come up here. This was obviously a test order, so there's not a lot of information in here. But if they did have a custom artwork, whether it's a Fotolia charge, you can come in here and export that artwork. So if they have uploaded any custom artwork or used the artwork that's within the designer, you can see that here, and then you have the ability to choose the type of artwork. It will show in this drop down, and then you can select export artwork, and that will export that file to your local computer for you to have. Okay, so just wanted to make you aware of where you can view those orders and their status. And again, that's under the e-commerce drop-down, view orders. The next thing that you want to take a look when you're setting up your e-commerce area is sales tax. What you want to do is come into this area under e-commerce and sales tax and select the states in which the tax is applicable. So if I select those states, I can use the check boxes and I can select the states where there is going to be tax. So I want to make sure I do that. And then if a store is tax exempt, I would definitely want to check this box. And once I've done that, I want to go ahead and save my changes. So you definitely want to make sure you go into this area and select those states where there is going to be tax that will be populated on the shopping cart. When a customer places their order, it will calculate the sales tax. The next thing, if you want to just see the inquiries that are being made on the site, you can come to the inquiries drop down and select my inquiries. And that works very similar to the orders. You can view those inquiries as well as artwork. So if I come in here, I can view that one particular inquiry. Doesn't have too much information on that one. Again, it's a test inquiry. Let's see if we got another one. There's a little bit more. So again, the inquiry looks very similar to the order, and you can go ahead and view and export that artwork that was uploaded if there is custom artwork with that inquiry or order. So that again is found in inquiries, my inquiries. The last thing as far as setting up your e-commerce site, so in setting up your site so that customers can place orders on them, is you do want to go into products. And once you go into the products drop down and select categories, this will show you all the different categories of products that are available on your website. You have the ability to edit those categories as well as add new categories. And we cover that a little bit more in detail on Track 2 and Track 3. But from an e-commerce setup, so to set up your site correctly, we do ask that you come into this categories area and you click on the e-commerce tab. And when you do that, what you need to do is go through here and check the categories that you want to allow ordering on your site. So basically, if you want customers to be able to order those products within those categories, you need to make sure that they are selected in this area on this screen. So you'll want to go through the various categories, check the ones that you want to offer as far as allow customers to order, and then save your changes. The last thing that I'm going to cover is just the general overall layout of the site. So there are definitely some pages on your site that are part of the template. There are also areas that are part of the template. So if I come up and I view my Troy Madison Heights site, when I refer to template pages that are included in the overall layout, I'm referring to this area up here at the top. So where you have a picture of your store and you have this header, this is part of the template, as well as this is your left navigation. So you have this as part of the overall layout template, as well as the My Signorama drop down. You also have these areas where it has customer support and the ability to add some more information here upon the left-hand side. That's part of the template. So you've got testimonials. And you also have this footer. This is part of the template as well, with your Facebook, Twitter, and so forth, all the links. So those are part of the overall layout. Again, this little bubble is part of the overall layout, as well as if I go into local projects, all these pages are part of the overall layout. Now you can customize them. So you can go into the overall layout in local projects and change the pictures as well as the text that you see there as well. So you can come in here and swap out different pictures. I want to exit out of that, so we'll go ahead. Okay, so those are part of the overall layout areas on your site. In order to edit those areas, those pages, or the areas such as the header and the navigation on the left-hand side, you want to come into General and go into Settings. And it will list all those pages as well as areas that are included in the overall layout of the site. So to simply edit a page, you can come in and I can check on the neon signs page and I can click Edit. And that will allow me to come in and edit the HTML module, which is part of this page. So you can see the neon signs. These are some of the pre-populated images. However, if you want to come in and change those images, there's a couple ways in which you can do that. You can basically just copy and paste the image on to this HTML, which allows you to keep the format. So if I had copied an image and I want to paste it where this image is, I just select the image, click on it, and then I can paste that image, which is just depends. You can left click and paste, or do your Control V and paste that image in there. So you can also do that with text. If you want to copy some text and then you can just highlight the text that you want to replace, or put your cursor where you want to paste that text in, and you can paste that text in by just doing your Control V or left clicking or right clicking and pasting that information in there. So you can type in here. You have a toolbar across the top of the HTML module, so you can put bold things, you can italicize things, you can underline them, you can also change the format, the headings, the font color, and so forth. So you have this toolbar. Now I also can upload images here a different way. So if I don't want to copy and paste into the HTML, I can come up to this little image icon and click on Insert an Image. And this will allow me to upload a custom image as well as browse the server for images that have already been uploaded. So if I come into Browse Server, this allows me to select an image that's already been uploaded to the server. If there is a unique image that I want to upload, then I need to come down here and choose my file from my desktop, select that image, open that, and then upload to the server. And you can see that that's now been uploaded here. And if I want to upload it onto my HTML module, I can click on it, and it will pull that image into the preview box where I can adjust the width and the height if I like. And then if I hit OK, it will go ahead and put that image onto my HTML. So again, you want to make sure you put your cursor where you want that image. I'm going to delete that image so that I don't mess up this live site. So that's how you would add images using this postcard. You can also link your image and your text to other areas within your site. So if I click on the image and I click on the little world with the link, this is where I could insert a URL of where I want to link this image to. I can also do the same thing for text. If I want to link this text, I just select the text and come up here and select the link, and then I can enter it in there. You have a couple ways as far as link types. You have an email link, and you can anchor it in the text as well as use a URL. The most common is the URL, so if that's selected, you can just type that in there. So those are ways in which you can come into the HTML module and edit the content on those pre-populated pages that are part of the overall layout. So if I save my changes, I'm definitely going to want to do that. If I make any, I'm going to cancel here because I don't want to save changes. But if I do save my changes, you'll see now a reset will populate over here to the right. And that just means that if you want to reset it to the original content of that page before you had made those edits, you can do so by clicking reset, and it will revert back to the original content using those stock images that were there. So those are the pre-populated pages and how you can edit their HTML modules found on those pages. If I scroll down a little bit further, there's a couple different areas on the overall layout that you have access to, as I pointed out, the picture as well as the header and the footer. If you come down here, you can see those are here as well. You can edit the About Us copy along the left-hand side of the site. You can also edit the header bubble at the top by clicking on Edit. You can edit the banners that appear at the top, so you can upload custom banners and select those banners. We cover that a little bit more in Tract 2 of how to upload a custom banner. But if I want to edit the Z-top banners, I can come up here and hit Edit. And once I've already uploaded my custom banner, it would appear in my banners list. You already have a few banners that are uploaded for you from corporate for you to be able to use. But if you want to upload your custom banner, you can upload that and it would appear in this drop down here. So if I select this banner stands, it will appear over here as a thumbnail. Yes, that's the banner I want to add, and then I can insert that banner and it will load that banner up. To delete a banner off that rotation, I can just check the X and that will delete the banner. So once I've made my selections as to which banners I want to rotate, I want to make sure this is set 1 per row and that I am sliding or fading in those banners for it to rotate and changing them every 3 to 5 seconds. So you want to key in the time in which you want those banners to switch or change. And then you go ahead and hit save. As I mentioned, you have the ability to also change the navigation along the left-hand side. So once you create your home page, you can add that. Everyone's home pages should be added and created already with the content from your old sites, but you can come in and you can adjust, maybe add some new pages to your site and then link those to the left navigation that's found on the left side of the site. I can come in here and edit that menu. And this allows me to edit using the bookmarks module. Basically, once I create a page, it will be held within this drop down. So I can link either a category, a product, or a page to this left navigation area. If I select page, this is where I can see a drop down of all the pages of my site. If I wanted to have a company history page and I wanted to link it over here to the left navigation area, I can select that page and then hit insert. And that'll insert it up at the top. Now, in order to change the order in which that appears on the left navigation, I can select that and drag it. So I could put it above the Learning Center if I like. If I want to make it indented in part of a category, so I want to make company history a subcategory of vehicle graphics, I can go ahead and click on it and drag it in and indent it. And now it's under vehicle graphics and lettering, so it's a subcategory. I'm going to go ahead and delete that just because we don't want to make any changes to this gentleman's site, and then save your changes once you've done that. I'm going to cancel out of that. And the last thing I want to talk about as far as the overall layout and editing the content on that is that picture up at the top, your storefront picture. It should already be defaulted to the picture that was on your old site. However, if you have a new picture that you want to upload, you can choose the file, select the picture from the desktop. Let's see if I've got, there's the Kirkwood. There's the image, and then select open, and that will bring that image in here, and then upload. And it will change that storefront photo for you, which will automatically change it at the top of the header on your website. I do want to mention, every time you're working with the pictures, the images, those need to be in a JPEG, GIF, or PNG file format in order for them to work on these sites. So that concludes the important site setup. Mike Bruger will be sending a 2-page document. It has a checklist of about 10 things to do. It's basically what we covered here in Tract 1, things that you need to look at and set up, and that is available to you also on the site training page, which if I go in, it's www.signorama.com/website. And here you have access to recorded webinars, such as what we've done here today, videos on shorter features, how to do something, so those are 2 to 3 minutes, Also, you can see frequently asked questions by other franchisees as far as troubleshooting goes. And there'll be a guide or a manual uploaded here as well as soon as we update that with some of the relative new screens that have just become available. So you'll see that here and you'll be able to view that on the website as well. So I wish you very good luck with your websites. If you have any questions, please contact support at Trade Only or contact your website administrator with Signorama. I believe his name is Max. And we look forward to having you attend some of our other recorded webinars and videos. Thank you for your time.